On today's episode of Garage Talk, we look at the drama with Red Bull.
And we talk about my least favorite race on the schedule, the Thermal Club.
Kyle Larson had a pretty fun weekend at Homestead, and we start talking about movies and somehow get to Paw Patrol and Clifford Big Red Dog. All that and more right now.
Welcome to an all-new episode of FR Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flook.
I'm Erik Richardson.
Not at home, if you can't tell.
Nope,
He's
on the road again.
he's sitting on his throne, apparently. You need like a crown and a scepter.
The closest I can do is a new hat.
There you go. Got
It's
your
actually an old one. It's Kevin
Oh,
Harvick.
that says that a Harvick Bush hat? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I was actually at a store. They had hats on sale for $10, so I got that one and picked up the Ryan Blaney.
Oh, it's a
Menards.
Blaney one. Okay, I was wondering, I was like, is this gonna be a Brandon Jones?
I mean, it is the 12,
It is the
so
12, yeah. So
we'll take
I
it.
want Brandon Jones must have some tie to the Menards family because his sponsorship in Xfinity seemed to follow him from Junior over to uh he drives for Gibbs now. And so like when you watch the Xfinity race, they'll run Menards commercials. And before it was Dale and Brandon Jones, but now Joe Gibbs is doing the Menards commercials with him. And yeah, it's weird to see Joe Gibbs doing Menards commercials, but
Yeah, it's weird.
not yeah, it's weirder than seeing Dale Jr. doing Menards commercials, but
Yeah, there's got to be some connection in there that does.
someone listening is probably like, duh, he's like John
Yeah.
Menard's nephew or something like that.
You guys talk like you know stuff and you don't know this.
Look, I don't know everybody's family tree. Uh,
We haven't been around forever. We have forgotten more than we know.
yes. My brain isn't fully functional anymore. It's had a few shots to the head. So you weren't here this week for both races.
No, I was on the road. Kind of a bummer I missed him. I was looking forward to it and didn't pay attention to scheduling when I said it. And like, oh yeah, oops, I'm gonna miss some races here.
Yeah, so Pocono was it was all right. I kind of I was kind of chilling, and we didn't have the caution. We never had a caution for it. So um,
Nothing to bunch that field back up.
no, no, and yeah, there's some that ran out of fuel, I think, at the end, and uh, a couple of cars had some early spins, but it didn't trigger a caution. We went caution free the entire race. So uh,
That's two in a row now.
two in a row, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's 2.5 miles, pretty wide, but it was turn one was pretty scary, and I'm glad I was in the back because if I would have been bunched up in that pack, we probably would have had an incident on turn one. But,
I don't know. I might have to take Pocono out. Last time we went there, my computer monitor blacks out and I can't race it. Then I don't pay attention to scheduling and
so,
miss the second time.
so we can't schedule Pocono. We can't schedule anything at Phoenix because, oh man,
We've had two drivers miss that one for birth of a child.
yep,
So no Phoenix on Wednesday night dash, no
yeah.
Pocono for Indy. Eventually, we need a list of things that we can't do. It's like, oh, there goes our league.
All right, well, we're gonna go to Daytona every week. No, we're not doing that.
Draft Masters or Crash
Oh,
Masters, one of the
oh,
two.
Crash Masters indeed. Yep. So, Wednesday night dash went to Atlanta, had the cautions, needed the cautions tonight. Somehow I made it all the way to the end before I really had a problem, and I car ran out of fuel. I was pushing for a top five. Car ran out of fuel and just got plowed into because where else are you gonna go? And then
When
that
you're going to a finish line, it's just get there.
Yeah, then I get turned around. I do a 360, and I'm like, all right, I got to get across the line. I didn't know if they threw a caution at that point or not. I didn't think they did, but I'm like, okay. So I could roll. I don't think I could go more than like 60 miles an hour, but I only had to go like 50 feet.
And whatever it takes.
So yeah,
I've
you
done
could
that
see
before.
watching the replay, you could see my front right is like this.
Oops.
So, but it was enough to get me across the finish line and locked in a seventh place finish tonight. So
That's
that
what matters.
I'll take it. I mean, I would have liked to get across the line clean in a top five, but it didn't happen. And somehow, so Dawson Buchanan, who's had a really great season, uh, had a bad night. Got caught up in a couple incidents, and he finished P13. So his big lead has shrunk, but it's statistically Colton Gardner is still alive. But it would basically, I haven't done all the scenarios yet, and I haven't figured out exactly what it is. But like Dawson would have to finish like 17th or worse, which we only had 15 tonight. We have technically 23 drivers in the series. I haven't had perfect attendance in quite a while. So if we have
In
less than like,
theory, it's possible.
yeah, well, yeah. So if we have less than 17 drivers, Dawson takes the start. It's locked. I think I need to double check that, but basically, like he'd have to finish like 17th or worse. Colton would have to win and like sweep the bonus points. Actually, I don't think he even has to sweep the bonus points. Like I think it's like 17th or 16th and like sweep the bonus points, or 17th or worse and win. So it's must win regardless for Colton. If he doesn't win, I don't think it's statistically possible for him to catch unless we get like the full 23 car field next week and finishes dead last, which Texas could happen. Uh,
Texas is a big wild track.
yeah, it's some crazy stuff happens, and it's not over yet. It's we've not awarded a champion. I mean, we never do before the last. Even if he locked it, we wouldn't make a big deal about it until the end. So,
Hopefully, I can
but
have a little bit or Texas
hey,
experience this time.
I because you didn't show up this week, I passed you in the standings. Yeah. Actually, even with you out, you currently sit. Oh, I can't
I know
believe
I
it.
lost a couple
You
spots.
did lose a couple spots. Standings. So you are currently sitting ninth, and I moved into eighth. Yeah, we needed the cautions tonight for sure. So it would have been a very busy evening of throwing the. I mean, there were some incidents where a couple of cars got spun and ended up going across the infield that didn't trigger a caution. The line kept moving, but you get those cautions, you get the lucky dog. I mean, Chris Fuge with like four to go was a lap down, and I think he finished fifth or sixth tonight. So it's part of the reason why we're changing it.
Real different dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, if under the stage break rules, you get turned across with like 20 to go, you're hosed. And
Yeah, that's it.
now, with this, we're going to be piloting it. Half the races will have the stage breaks. The road course will not ever. But if all goes well, only four races will have a stage break next season. And then in the fall, um, we we will go to full cautions for all non-road course races.
It'll be fun to see how this next season goes.
I think it's some of them could get very boring, but hey, I think we got out of Atlanta with like three cautions in 70 laps, including an overtime. I lost the pack at one point, and like 3 laps, I was losing like a second a lap, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get lapped with like two to go at this point. And then like 2 laps later, I get a caution. I'm right back there. I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, it will be fun to see how it goes because you don't have to worry about your I rating or safety rating. It'll be fun to see if the racing stays pretty clean or maybe a couple extra chances or like, yeah, maybe I wouldn't do that knowing I don't get a caution, but if this doesn't work, It'll be fun to see how the racing goes.
So in other fun news, I'm glad I did not need the uh the brake very much tonight because earlier this afternoon I rolled my ankle breaking up a fight, running over to break a fight up with my kids, and like I just kind of stepped awkwardly off the sidewalk, and I had broken my foot before doing that, rolling my ankle, and it broke the bone on the outside. And I for a second I'm like, oh, please tell me I did not do that again. And it's like I could put weight down. I'm fine. I'm like I just don't have like the full rotation, so I look like I walk with a limp right now. What I did, actually, I'm still wearing it. So I have these like arch pads. So I actually put this like arch pad on that has like this padding around my foot, and I put my sock over it, and I put this pad over like the area where it hurts. And I drove the whole time, and I mean, I had to brake it at points, and it didn't hurt at all. So I'm like, hey, all right. So that came in useful tonight.
Now just wait till the morning when you wake up.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. Well, I'm more concerned that I walk my kids to school every day, and it's a round trip 1 mile. So I do it a mile in the morning and a mile in the afternoon. So I'll be testing how well that holds up. I sometimes if we have like stuff to bring in, like they have a project or it's raining or something like that, I'll drive the car like 2/3 of the way and park it around the corner and then walk the last like you know not even a quarter of a mile. So
Not a bad idea
well,
there.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that sucked. I was thinking, I'm like, like if I broke my foot or sprained my ankle that I couldn't drive because like, I 2 foot. Like some people I've seen, they just use the right foot and occasionally they'll use the left foot if they use a clutch. But I do the brake throttle left right and then slide over to clutch if I need to if I'm driving a car that uses a clutch. So I don't remember what I was talking about before it froze up. So this editing here might be a little clunky. Apologize for that, but I was saying like
Kind of
I
a technical difficulty.
yeah, it happens. The internet, it stinks. Um, so like I use my clutch wherever I can, my clutch pedal because like I've very limited experience driving, and I've always like I've thought about buying like a cheap car with a manual and part time it. Oh, did you freeze again? Nope, you're still there.
That should be good. Just hanging out.
You weren't like moving. I was like, oh, we lost him again. Just kidding. But yeah, it's like I want to buy I've thought about going and buying like an older like Ford Fiesta with a manual and just like use that as like my practice driving a manual transmission around. Because I was told I cannot have a manual as my primary vehicle because my wife absolutely refuses to learn, aka the millennial security alarm.
All the traffic in Phoenix,
I would,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. The funny thing, there's a video that went viral of this guy who was being carjacked at a gas station, and the guys get in the car and they look down and they see it's a manual, and they get out and run away because they couldn't figure out how to drive the car.
very few people know how to drive a manual
Yeah,
anymore.
I have driven a manual one time, and it was in a parking lot, and I was like 15 years old. My uncle taught me, and but it's just like, yeah, I'm looking around and like I want to find like a Ford Fiesta or something small like that I don't have to put a lot of money in, that I can just put it in my third stall, in my garage, and just use it. I'm sure that would go great when I show up with like a 15-year-old Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, I want to see how that conversation goes when
Yeah,
you bring it home.
yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Kid's first car. It'll be like 25 years old by the time they're by the time they're
There you
16.
go.
You're going to learn to drive on a 25-year-old Ford Fiesta with a manual transmission. You're not going to be these, actually, I think they're called Gen Alpha now.
I can't keep track of it
Yeah,
anymore.
we're through Gen Z. So the kids that are born from like 2014 onward, maybe, is Gen Alpha.
Hopefully they're smarter.
I had hope for our generation, then I'm like, never mind. Well, whatever. Um,
Before we move on to the real racing, Derek Bucker 3 in a row.
3 in a row, yeah, good for him.
Had a dry spell there, but got one and now clicking them off.
He was fuel saving, and then like I don't know what happened because I was probably 5 seconds back of the pack, and then he just like took off, and then I look, and then he's like 10 seconds ahead of everybody else. I'm like, wait,
What
what
happened?
what just happened there? I haven't watched the broadcast yet, so I need to go back and look at that. But it's just like Ian and Derek were like right next to each other, and the next thing you know, it's 10 seconds, and Ian's still running. I'm like, what just happened there?
Great strategy call.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, that's good fuel saving. Yeah, I was running in like between 2 and 3 in the fuel map most of the way, and I'm just like, can I turn it back to one? And I'm like, no, I gotta. And I ended up having to be in two like the entire second after my pit stop. I botched my pits entry, locked up, and then I missed my pit box, and I stopped short and had to roll forward, and I just like, man, I even practiced like green flag stops too in practice, and just
We have what Mid Ohio coming up next
yep,
in a couple weeks. Then we get Dover and Indianapolis. I forget the order on that. And then it's what a auto club to finish.
yeah, yeah. I think it goes Indy Dover Auto Club, if I remember correctly. And why do I have to guess? I can just pull it up right here.
I think that's right. Indy comes before Dover.
League schedule. Yeah, Indianapolis on 4/15. Oh, great. That's my wife's birthday. Hey, sorry, ditching on your birthday. That,
Get an extra nice dinner that night.
I mean, it's Tuesday night. It's not like we're going out anywhere anyway.
You know, speaking of Indianapolis, drove by this week.
You did.
They're getting the banners put up for the 500. Then the way I came in on 16th Street, got to drive by the Auto Who billboard.
With the gun store,
Yep.
the 500 guns. It's great.
The whole reason with the billboard is hilarious because we don't have anyone with that big of a following in Mexico. Auto Award shows up for FP1 and
Place goes nuts.
Formula One, and everybody goes wild.
Someone who isn't going wild right now is Liam Lawson.
Yeah, for somebody who's there to not make friends and win races and pretty arrogant at the end of last season of I'm going to be in a Red Bull and I'm going to be challenging Verstappen for a world champion.
Nah,
His words are not going over very well.
no.
In his infamous flip off of Perez,
I mean, that was kind of funny.
it was, but
It's
kind of
the
coming
cur
back onto him now.
the curse of Max's teammate. I love they have this like I saw this meme and it was like the curse of Max's teammate, and what they do is they have like them up in the cloud like they're like angels in heaven, and they have all his former team, Gasly and Ricardo and Sergio Perez and Alex Albon, and they have and now Liam Lawson has moved up there as well. Like,
It's so
don't do it,
funny.
Yuki, don't
Was
do it.
with two races in. You'd think we're halfway through the season,
And
but
that
no,
was
we
totally a helmet
started.
Marco move. He didn't like the
It's,
move to from get go.
it was funny looking at the comments. Everybody's like, "We're sorry, Checo. Sorry for being a hater." But
Uh,
this move is not really a good thing for Red Bull. One,
no,
it either shows they made the wrong decision to begin with. Two, if Yuki struggles, then is it really showing it's the car?
just showing that
And
Max
it's
is an alien.
built for Max.
Mm. Well, it's like that clip that keeps coming up where they have the principal sitting in a circle from a few years ago, and Toto Wolff is saying like, "I talked to Checo and your car, blaming the car," and he's like, "I have it printed out." Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
Chuck always said the car is not right, and he struggled. The more that it changed, the more he struggled.
you know, um, I stayed up and watched the Chinese Grand Prix. It started at midnight my time, and I struggled to stay awake, and
I watched the next morning when I got up. I
I ended up watching to the finish, and as soon as Piastri crossed the line, I'm like, tablet closed. I'm
think I
going to
watched
bed.
the last 20 laps, and it sounds like I really didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss. I mean, the thing is, Lando kept coming on the radio about his brake pedal, and they're like, "You're fine, you're fine," and he's like, "It's going a lot, like it's longer," and I think the most exciting thing was like, is Lando's brake pedal gonna fail on him driving out there? And it didn't. He was fine.
You
And
got it to the end, but still podiumed.
I mean, the sprint was arguably more exciting than the race. And we know how much most of
Yeah,
those drivers love the sprint. But Lewis Hamilton wins the sprint. Good for him.
and Ferrari didn't get in their way, but
They
then they
did. They
did
did
on
during the
Sunday.
race. Uh, Somebody took a screenshot of them reporting the Ferrari Instagram account, and it's like, why are you reporting it? It says impersonating a legitimate Formula One team.
Well, what's going through Lewis Hamilton's head? Is he going, was this the right call to make?
And Kimi Antonelli is driver of the day, and he's like, "What, me?" He's like, "Yeah, we just saw it on the screen." And Toto's like, "Maybe it's your good looks."
I mean, he was what, eighth place?
Yeah, well, Ollie Berman arguably should have been the driver of the day. He looked pretty good out there in that Haas,
Just what,
and
double points for Haas?
he was uh he passed. Who did he pass? He did it twice, and I forget. I want to say it was Gasly he passed. Maybe not, but it was an Alpine because Ocon was hearing about it for the first time during a post race interview, and you could see like the grin on his face as he's telling this story. But he passed one of the Alpines and went on the radio and went, "Ciao," kept on going. And they played that during the broadcast, and then I guess he said he did it a second time. I like that guy. I think he has a lot of potential, and hopefully Haas doesn't destroy his career. But he looked really good.
Getting double points, though, is huge. It's big for them.
The Ocon actually, or not Ocon, Nico Hulkenberg is the first former Haas driver to actually go to another team instead of leave F1 altogether.
Well, Yuki was having another good run, but what was it, debris or something came off the car in front and
It
destroyed
it
his front wing.
it didn't even it wasn't even debris. I don't. It just broke.
I couldn't tell if something hit it or
I don't
it looked
like
like
they
it
were they
blew
were
up.
debating it on the broadcast, and like I don't think anything hit it. I think it just snapped.
And that's unfortunate. That was a good
Yeah.
run.
Yep. Oh man, and then Leclerc broke the side of his wing. Lewis bumped into him at the very beginning, and then he was under by 1 kilo.
See,
I think
but
Gasly was under by 1 kilo as well, and
they said it
the
was what a differing pit strategy, so there was more tire wear and had less tire than they expected, and
I wonder how much that wing breaking. I mean, does that piece of the wing weigh a kilo?
it's what, three-quarters of a pound?
Do
There's no way.
Yeah, whatever. Ferrari. Yeah.
And how they say they take their hot tires and drive over the marbles to pick up as much weight as they can,
Oh man, Ferrari.
and the rookies are having a great time.
I mean, Ollie Berman was pretty good. Kimi Antonelli was good. Um,
Was it Bortoletto had a small incident, what, practice or the sprint race?
yeah,
Didn't Doohan have an issue too?
he did. He locked up and he ended up getting a penalty for that, I believe. Yeah, he locked up going into one of the final turns and oh, I'm getting yelled at. I'm trying to open the F1 app to look at the final standings and it's like, you didn't update your app. Oh man, so we have to talk. Oh yeah, so Yuki's going to be in his home race in Japan, driving the Red Bull. Yeah, and then
Hopefully he performs.
so we have to talk about this. I have not been a fan of the Thermal Club as a race on the calendar. It just it feels one haphazardly thrown together. I don't think the facility and is from the power outage to the track this weekend, it's not equipped to handle a full. I mean, it's a freaking country club.
It's a place to take your car and go play for an hour and pretend to be a race car driver.
Yeah, it's where a bunch of rich guys go and they drive their fancy sports cars, and it just it, it it feels very tone deaf that you're trying to expand the series and expand the series reach and you go to a country club in Palm Springs with minimal crowd. I don't know what ticket prices were going for, but last year when they did the exhibition there, I believe they were charging a pretty penny to even get in if you could get in. Um, so then, yeah, they lose power during the race. Like they had a track wide outage that was reported. I don't know if it was track wide, but the box truck lost power and they had to cut over to the NASCAR race. So, IndyCar got Big Fox. NASCAR was demoted to F1 or FS1. But then for a chunk of the race, the NASCAR race was on Fox until they got power back up, and it was not that long that it was out, but not helpful.
Is what pretty much a parade except for a couple of passes and
Yeah,
willpower that somehow drove through the field.
yep, and I mean the most exciting moment was the before green with DeFrancesco and uh, Scotty Mack getting into it, and then they have their post race scuffle, verbal scuffle, and
Yeah,
DeFrancesco is
maybe
arguing.
he could have moved a little further outside, but there was plenty of space.
He was arguing that it wasn't his fault, and the response was, "Well, like of course it was your fault. You got a drive through for it." So it's like,
As the officials judged it to be your fault.
yeah, but yeah, it was pretty boring.
It took race two for my prediction to start coming true. Driver count is now at one.
Oh. Yeah, people were giving him a hard time in that video. That number one, they enjoyed that Fox left it uncensored and on the social media clip with the F bombs going back and forth. So take that, FIA.
They probably
But
did it because of FIA.
yeah, I think so too. But yeah, it's just it was just a tone deaf, haphazardly thrown together schedule filler. It's like
It's not a good track,
no.
at least for what they're trying to do. It's
I mean,
too narrow.
it's fine for testing. Like that's what the facility was used for. It's a warm weather test facility that they can get out to in January. And it's nothing more than that.
Yeah. Use it to shake down your car, not to race at.
Just I just I'm kind of glad the NASCAR race was moved to Fox for a little bit. So I was trying to watch it. I'm like, this is so boring.
Yeah, luckily I didn't have to watch it live.
I mean, I didn't see
Terrible
it.
ratings that wasn't due to the power outage, or did people just not tune in?
I don't think they
The
do.
truck race outdrew it.
Yeah, they got outdrawn by the truck race on Friday
They
night.
were only slightly ahead of NHRA.
Yeah, they were outdrawn by the truck series. They were really outdrawn by they might have double. Let me see. I can find the uh, where is it? Too many posts. Where are you? Oh, I'm on the wrong account.
Well, and it didn't help either that
Here we go.
it directly went up against NASCAR.
Yeah. So, yes, that was the other thing. Is that was a bad decision.
And it's March Madness.
Yep. I mean, still NASCAR had 2.3 or 2.5 million viewers on FS1. And it's kind of a hard the apples to apples for this race is kind of difficult because it's been a fall race. It's been competing with the NFL and yeah, but it was on NBC. So they the last couple of years they did 2.3 million on NBC. They did 2.5 million on FS1. So it's not an apples to apples comparison, but that's still I mean in 2021 they got 4.2 million viewers on Fox. But let's see here. The Xfinity series got 1.2 million on the CW. I watched a little bit of that. Truck got 906,000 on FS1. Watched a bit of that. Kyle Larson, 2 out of 3.
Almost got the third one.
He botched his restart and then got bumped into by Sam Mayer at the end and missed out. So the IndyCar got 704,000 viewers on Fox, and they got about 800,000 viewers on NBC last year for the same race, even though it was an exhibition. Not good. I
And
mean,
last year, it's kind of the new, different, novel thing, so you can draw the attention a little bit more.
ugh,
They
don't get
really
me
need
wrong.
to look at a
It's gonna take
revamp
time.
schedule.
Yeah, it's gonna take time to build it out. You can't just completely redo the schedule in 1 year, but
I'd be interested to see if there's trends that go along where they get better viewership when they go to the ovals than when they're on the road courses.
I mean, your next oval is the Indy 500, which is going to be your best ratings of the
Yeah,
year.
it's gonna be a huge rating. It'll be
Uh,
fun to see how it goes when they're at Iowa, Milwaukee, Gateway,
Nashville. Yeah,
and
that
do they do multiple lanes of racing?
did they finish repaving Iowa, or do they still have that one stupid lane?
I haven't looked into it yet.
I mean, I guess it still is March, so if they're gonna
I hope it
pave,
is. That took away some great
yeah,
racing.
that was. I mean, I get it. Like you have to repave eventually. Like I get it.
Do all of it.
I was just very. Let's see.
The comparison of last year's race to the year before, it was horrendous.
7 months ago, Iowa Speedway will not be repaved further next season, according to the track president.
Well, if that's the case, that's another dud of a race.
Good thing you're not, yeah, no plans to go to that this year.
Nope.
Yeah, I guess they announced it in September of last year. Maybe I remember that, but whatever. That sucks.
They need to find a way to get these races more competitive.
Just put
Just driving laps around thermal is not worth watching on TV.
I I've talked to a couple people that consider themselves F1 fans first that they'll watch like the Indy 500 but they will not tune in really. They won't make if it's on but they won't make the effort to watch IndyCar. And the general can I mean granted small sample size but I don't disagree with the assessment of IndyCar is like the bulk of their schedule is trying to be like poor man's Formula One, and and it's like the Indy 500, obviously the big draw, but like, is there really a big draw, even a mediocre draw, like outside of that? And
Here in 2 weeks, it's basically their biggest road race of the year.
mhm. Yeah, that's great. And Long Beach is a great venue for the event. The race is
It's
usually
a
pretty
huge
good.
weekend.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
just a new car.
right. Yeah, it's a great weekend for racing. And it's just I keep canceling I my Peacock subscription. I keep like signing up and then canceling again, and I realize, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to like re-up with it soon. I should just like I screwed up. They had like a deal where you could get like 1 year for 19.99, and I didn't do it. I'm like, oh, I should have done that.
Should have done it.
That was dumb of me. Oh well. So yeah,
Yeah,
I've
if
been
you talk
like,
to Indy drivers, if they don't win Indy, the second race they want to win is Long Beach.
yes, it's like Indy West. Like, is the series is always thought very highly of it, and for years in the 80s and even into the 90s, Phoenix was always a good race. Uh, I like I said, selfishly, I want them back there again. I don't know if it would be good or not, but
It'd be fun to see them on the new track layout there.
I think I think it could be a good race. I just don't know if somebody's gonna make that aggressive move to make it a good race. Is the problem? I mean, Santino Ferrucci would.
Is it, do we have a problem just with the cars not being able to make the passes? Is it drivers not willing to push that edge and they're just content to ride?
I mean, look at Texas.
Is it the tracks that they just got to figure out?
You look at Texas, and Jimmy Johnson was great for their oval racing because he did some pretty dumb things in the car at Iowa. I recall a very aggressive move coming out of a turn, and you just hear the guys at the booth all going, "Oh!" and
Yeah, he was
somehow,
running the high side at Iowa,
yeah,
and the announcers were like, "There's no, he made this
he
work."
made it work. It's and in Texas, he's going to the high side. Then they started doing the high side practice and
Yeah, the following year they did a high line
line.
practice only,
Yeah,
and that was a phenomenal race.
yeah. It's it was they needed that. And then they have Santino Ferrucci out there at Milwaukee, and if it wasn't for him and his extremely aggressive moves, that would have been a total. I mean, it was a total dud last year, but
He he could do that in about the first 4 to 5 laps after a restart on fresh tires. After that,
no.
even him, he just fell in line.
Till the next caution, and then they kept going. Oh.
That Iowa, the year that I went out there, it was nonstop passing in action. It was great. Then the following year, or like 10 passes the entire race.
Yeah, what did we say? It was like 800 passes or something like that the one year.
Yeah, we can go back and rewatch a episode if you want to go. This week or I think the week
Oh,
after, but a
the
massive difference in on-track action.
So, before I forget, I'm glad you said check out old episodes. Shout out to our friend of the show, Heather Hadley, the Amazon Prime series featuring her, the former team owner she drove for, and another driver of the MX5 series, Sally Mott. And it's called First to the Finish. It's out now on Amazon Prime. Go watch it. I still haven't yet. I'm sorry. I need to go do that. But the first couple episodes were released. I think it's a 6-part series, and it's following, talking about women struggling to break into motorsports, and so they followed them around last season, and I didn't know they were doing this. She didn't tell us she was doing this, did she? I don't think she
I
did.
don't recall. I think maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember. I have to go back. But so our we sat down with her last August, and it was about a 45-minute episode, and you can go find that on Spotify. You can find it on YouTube, and we've had actually a surge in people finding our episode on YouTube, because if you search for Heather Hadley on YouTube, there's a R&B singer named Heather. It's something similar. It's like Headley or something like that, and it tries to like autocorrect. But the first couple videos you see on YouTube is our interview with her. So that was exciting. I saw, I'm like, oh yeah, we're getting an uptick from people searching for her after the fact. So hey, thanks for tuning in. If you're a new listener, a new subscriber, appreciate it. But also go check out that series on Amazon Prime. It's called First to the Finish.
Yeah, a lot's happened over the last several months, so my brain is basically scrambled eggs at this point. But it was really fun looking through the my news feed. There's a lot of auto racing in it. I'm scrolling through, I'm like, hey, that person looks familiar.
Oh, we know her.
Like, hey, I do know her. That's awesome.
We know her. We know a star of an Amazon Prime series. So,
Yeah, be sure to tune in, check that out.
and no,
We'll
it's not.
probably be
It's not The Boys.
checking in after I get back home.
I started. Have you ever watched The Boys on Amazon Prime?
I'm not.
It is a strange show. I got into it like so they've made like I think 4 seasons if I remember right, and I started watching it after season 4 came out, and I started from the beginning. And if you, I'm not gonna blow the opening, but like the first 2 minutes of the first episode, like my jaw dropped, and I'm just like, oh my God. So that's how this series is going to be. And yeah, it's like, it's very violent, but it's like almost like comic book violence, almost. It's very strange. There's a lot of very subtle humor in there, but it's a really good show. And I watched, yeah, very violent, very profane. If you're not, kind of a queasy stomach, might want to skip that one. But
FA president, I bet, is not watching it.
no, probably not. But it's like I finished season 4, and like season 5, I think is going to be the last season, but it's not coming out until next summer. So it's like crap. We should have just waited until like next year to start watching it. But
Might have to look at it.
I've also started watching, or I was getting ready to start watching Severance because I hear a lot of really good things about that, but I have not
Yeah,
started it yet.
right now we're waiting for the new season of You to come out on Netflix.
Of what?
It's called You,
I've
kind of
never.
like a psychological
Mm.
thriller type thing.
Yeah, I don't really get into like The Boys is like the only new TV show I've really watched in the last several years, and it's like I don't have time for
It's based on my
TV.
reruns of South Park and Family Guy and all the classics.
Yeah, I mean, I like when I turn on the TV at night, like I usually end up finding a rerun of The Office, and it's to the point now, like for the longest time, Seinfeld was like my rerun show. That it's like I knew every episode, I knew every like plot, every all these characters. Now now like The Office has kind of overtaken that now, and there's a lot of references in The Office to Chili's, and a lot of lines early on in the series, and a video was posted today on Chili's social media that they're opening their first ever location in Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is where The Office took place. And for the commercial, they brought in all these like characters from The Office who are in like the Chili's episodes, and some of the more minor characters from like the guy who played Michael's boss is like a bartender in this. And they're cracking like office jokes, and they have like signs that say like that's what she said on the wall of this of, and it's like for real. Like this is a real, appears to be a real restaurant that they're opening next
That's
week.
awesome.
And so they're making this Chili's location like the office theme. Like, oh, this was so well done. Good for you. People are gonna go to Scranton and be like, I'm gonna eat at the office Chili's now. And it's like it's still a Chili's.
Still the same thing, just themed better.
I like Chili's.
Pretty much my sum total of TV boils down to Paw Patrol and Rubble and Crew.
We have nearly phased out of that. Um,
I think I know every single episode almost by heart.
there's a lot of episodes. Yeah, we kind of phased out of Paw Patrol, and we had all the toys, and we had the first movie play set, every once in a while they'll still watch an episode, but that used to be everything was Paw Patrol, and uh, the fundamental thing with Paw Patrol is that you have a essentially this teenage boy and a bunch of dogs taking care of a bunch of irresponsible adults.
Yep.
Is the premise of Paw Patrol. It's like the mayor is an incompetent buffoon, and the bad guy is just like comic book villain bad guy. And the other people there are like, oh no, I like dropped my pie on the ground. I'm gonna call the Paw Patrol. Like I'm gonna call these dogs to come make me a new pie. Like,
And it's
yeah,
like, how can you not help yourself? If anything bad goes, oh, lights out. Better call Paw Patrol.
it's just oh God.
My question, where do they get all the money to come up with their stuff? Like, are these that expensive?
Merchandising. It's all about the merchandising. And they in one of the Paw
They
Patrol movies,
they
they
crack a joke about the
yeah,
merch.
yeah, the merch paid. It's like who paid for this? And it's like officially licensed merchandise.
I was actually just looking at it. Like the creator of it actually lives in Monaco
Oh.
and with like royalties and all that stuff, it's pulling in multiple billion dollars.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
they're
like, damn, why
raking.
did I not come up with a cartoon that does this and just do whatever I want?
So my kids started watching. There's like this girl makes YouTube videos, and I'm drawing a blank what her name is. She's like from Florida, and it's like her dad, and her friends. And so she started like really young, or like they made these videos, and she has like 100 million followers. But the thing is, like, and and they were okay. Like they weren't, they're pretty well done for being like a family on YouTube, and but then like now she's like a teenager. They're starting to get a little more. Let's just say they're not age appropriate for my kids, and they were like copying some of the stunts they were pulling, and I'm like, all right. And I actually deleted YouTube off our Apple TV so I couldn't watch it anymore. Um,
Works.
I've like I got to be that parent, and I shut him down. And so like the kids actually have been watching a lot of like the PBS Kids app. I'm like, you know what? You can watch PBS Kids all you want, maybe not all you want, but you know what? I don't have to worry about it. You just pick a show. I don't care if it's Clifford or there's this uh I forget what the pink something. I mean, the shows are fine. They're PBS. Like Arthur, and I don't have to worry about it. Like just here, yeah, you want to go watch PBS? Have at
There you
it.
go.
Have at it. You want to watch PBS Kids? Have at it. I'm not going to stop you. You can watch whatever you want on this app. Fine.
Fun fact for the night, the creator of Clifford the Big Red Dog
Hmm. I know.
went to our school.
He's from our hometown.
Yep.
Do you know they actually have a sign in his yard of his childhood home now?
That I did not know, but I know coming in from the north side of town, says home of Clifford. There's a ghost at your door.
And a dog. Dog was probably barking. But yeah, actually, if you go on to like, and the thing is too, like, it's not, I want to say it was like on Jefferson Street. It's like right on like a main road. Norman Bridwell was his name.
Then another fun fact, Garfield was born like 35 minutes away from
Yeah,
us.
Jim Davis, Muncie, Indiana. Uh,
As much as we can knock on Indiana, there's a lot of good stuff that's come out of the state.
there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, you got the 500, obviously that. But
Yeah,
yeah, I want to say it was either
Bird.
like Sycamore or Jefferson. It's like right on there, and it's like actually marked on Google Maps as his childhood home.
Even after living here, I don't know exactly where it is.
I don't either, but I didn't. I mean, I've driven down that street hundreds of times in my childhood, and it's like I
I'll
drove
be
by
out and
Clifford,
about
the big red
tomorrow,
dogs.
and I'd actually have to just drive by.
I was looking at the yeah, Mormon Bridwell died in 2014. Looking at like the uh really? So the head of the UAW is originally from Kokomo.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had no idea. Sean Fain, like he was the one who was like appearing last year during like the presidential campaigns, like and during the UAW strike last year, he was like, he's the guy. Like I had no idea he
Huh.
was the yeah, he worked at the Chrysler plant, went to Taylor High School. I had no idea. Looking to see who else.
And there is a reason we are known as the city of firsts.
Hmm, yeah, some good, some not so good. Some of these names, I'm like, that sounds familiar.
Still
Anyway,
pretty much standard. We talk about racing and somehow we get to Clifford.
well, Paw Patrol came up and it evolved into Clifford.
But if
Oh,
you listen to us long enough, you know it's gonna happen.
yeah. It's the fact that you get into Clifford and Paw Patrol. I think that might mean it's time to wrap for the night.
We didn't even talk about the biggest series this weekend, NASCAR.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about it.
A little bit.
It was a good race.
And what were your thoughts on the race? It ran green.
It ran green, yeah. I was in and out. I had like the iPad sitting on my table outside. My kids wanted to swim. I'm like, I'm not getting in the pool. Are you nuts? It's not that warm outside yet. I mean, it's you're gonna laugh when I tell you this. Our pool got up to like 74. I'm like, no, that's not Phoenix pool weather.
That's cold.
Yeah. And my kids are like jumping in and like, we're swimming. I'm like, you kids have fun. So I'm like watching the
And
kids and
what's your air temperature?
actually yesterday it got to 99, but it was only 90 today and it was like 88 on Sunday. So it's not peak season yet, but it's getting there.
So if it goes as is forecasted, by the end of the weekend, we're gonna have close to a foot of snow on the ground. Maybe more.
It's supposed to cool off a little bit here. But yeah, my kid was pumped Kyle Larson won. Let's see here, 10 days. Yeah, we almost broke 100. We almost broke the record for the earliest 100-degree day. We just missed out. Actually, one part, like one obscure part of the valley, ended up hitting 100 degrees yesterday. So yeah, it's normally like I want to say it's like April 8th or something like that is the average first 100-degree day here.
I was a little surprised that if I'm a crew chief, I would make an adjustment as soon as stage two. Because a lot of the drivers pit early. And then you had Larson, Hamlin. They stayed out and split the stage in half or maybe a lap or two longer. I don't know how other teams didn't just switch to that strategy
I don't know.
because they had the handful of lap, fresher tires, and they just drove right through everybody.
Bubba Wallace finished P3, and he is like the highest he's ever been in the standings like this early in a season. Let's see. Yeah, he's currently seventh. From a point standpoint, your top four: Byron, Larson, Bowman, Reddick. And then Chase Elliott is sixth.
And three Hendrick cars. Bowman
Yeah,
almost had a win.
yeah. Your top eight is literally Hendrick, Gibbs, 2311. And then you get your stretch of, I mean, but the playoffs obviously shift stuff around a little bit, but I'm straight up points is what we're talking about here.
That's how it should be.
Austin Cindric is 21st. Brad Keselowski is 30th. You want to talk about struggles? We talked previously about Ty Gibbs, and yeah, the question is, was he rushed into the cup too quickly? I mean, he was the Xfinity champ, and it's often a jumping off point. But he has struggled badly, and you know who else has been struggling? It's SVG. Yet another. He is currently, from a point standpoint, he is currently sitting 33rd.
He's got the road courses, but just very little oval experience.
Yeah, he was 32nd last weekend.
He had a couple tire issues too, didn't he?
I believe so, yeah. 34th at Vegas. I don't think he had
He got wrecked there.
yeah, and then he was 31st in Phoenix, 6th Dakota.
Makes sense. Led laps there too.
Uh 23rd at Atlanta, which, that's a crapshoot.
He's had a bunch of torn up race cars this year too.
33rd, yeah, 33rd at Daytona. So yeah, it's hasn't exactly been lighting up the schedule, but I mean, I we kind of saw that coming though, didn't we? Maybe not quite that bad, but
It's almost gonna, if this trend continues, it's gonna be like a Harrison Burton almost. He's gonna get a one road course win and pop himself into the playoffs.
yeah. Let's see what are
Get a
what
couple more like that, and I think NASCAR is gonna start having a look at it, going, do we really want a 30 plus place driver
jumping, yeah.
just getting into the playoffs because of one race?
So we've got the Mexico race, which there was rumors going around that they were canceling it, but they said no, just kidding. No, we're not. So you got that in June. Got the Chicago Street Race, which he's won previously, July 6th. You got Sonoma on July 13th. So I mean, he's got three
Watkins
legitimate
Glen.
chances to make the playoffs, just by being in 33rd place.
Oh, Watkins Glen will come up too. No, that's
Watkins,
a playoff race.
it's August 10th. Is that a playoff race?
They restructured the schedule a little bit.
No, it's not. It's
That's right.
the playoffs are Darlington, Gateway, Bristol, New Hampshire, Kansas, Roval, Vegas, Talladega, Martinsville, and then Phoenix. Yeah, because they moved Homestead to the spring.
So another chance.
Well, that's gonna be weird. Talladega, October 19th. That's kind of late for that race.
Yeah, be fun though.
Yeah, I think there's after last weekend there's more calls to move the championship back to Homestead, but the rumor is that they're going to start remodeling the place and have it ready to go for next year, which I'm fine. Like, just don't take away my two Phoenix races. That's my selfish plea to NASCAR. I mean, you kind of have to have two Phoenix races because you could have snow on the ground in Charlotte in February or March, in theory.
Yeah,
Can't go any further north. They
be
don't have
interesting.
they don't have a track in California anymore. Well, Southern California. They've Sonoma.
Oh, I actually did drive by Chicagoland Speedway.
How's it looking?
Couldn't really get too close. It was all just fenced and gated off.
Was it like the normal like track fencing, or is it like construction fences? Like we're about to demolish this place.
Just track.
Oh, that's good.
It's ready to go.
Somebody
Maybe
did
in
some.
Poland, North Wilkesboro, or Rockingham, just a little bit of refurbishment here and there, and
Somebody did a drone over it not that long ago, and it looked like it was the track was in pretty good shape.
they need to get racing back there.
I mean, come on, just let IndyCar go. IndyCar wants to go into Chicago and not going to do a street race there for him.
Dude, those cars would not survive Chicago streets.
No. Yeah. Let him go to Chicagoland. Back to Julian. Oh, I got an upset dog. All right. So I think we are sitting by the door means I have to go to the bathroom. You better let me out, or else I am going to poop on your floor.
I'm excited. We've talked about it.
Yes,
I'm getting into it.
that's right. Yes, got my copy right here. This was a good book. Call him after, get him on the show. I am not quite finished with the Paul Page book, but it's very good. I'm into the late 80s now. So I haven't officially got to the split, which I've got to the point where he left NBC and the radio to go do ABC television. And look at the intro from 1992. That it's like 3 minutes long for the 500, but it's so good. And he was so good at those. I also like that clip I sent you the other day with Mark Blundell off track. And is he going to avoid the tires? Nope.
Paul Page is a great
Uh,
answer.
the best part is he's in the Motorola car in this, and the first comment was, "Oh, another mistake from Jimmy Bly."
Yep.
Oh man, I still think Formula One is gonna the movie is gonna be a not a blatant ripoff of the story. I think it's gonna be a better acted version of a very similar story.
Yeah, coming up here in June.
It's gonna be a better acted, better filmed, and better produced film, but basically the same story.
Is it going to end up being better?
I I believe in Jerry Bruckheimer. He really hasn't done much that was bad. I'm not sure if he did anything that was bad. I mean, this is the same guy who did Days of Thunder and Top Gun.
It'll be fun. I'll have to decide if I want to see it in theaters or
I'm gonna go see it in theaters.
wait till it comes streaming. Might have to just to get the sound effects.
You gotta, yeah, go and it's gonna be like an IMAX, and I don't think that it's rated yet, but I have a hunch it's gonna be at least PG-13.
I would think so.
Yeah, so he was a producer, Beverly Hills Cop, Flashdance, Beverly Hills 2, both Top Gun movies,
More than
Crimson
likely, it's going to be
Tide,
a solid movie.
The Rock, Con Air, Armageddon, Enemy of the State, Coyote Ugly, Gone in 60 Seconds, Remember the Titans, one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, National Treasure.
Lots of great movies in there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the guy like has a pretty well, several national pirates in there. Um, he did produce that really bad Lone Ranger movie with Johnny Depp. Bad Boys, Black Hawk Down, Bad Boys, and then Kangaroo Jack. Oh man, that was such a dumb movie. Rotten Tomatoes gave Kangaroo Jack a 9%.
Ooh. Even for Rotten Tomatoes, that's
It's
very low.
bad. Yeah. It was supposed to be a kids movie, and they said one of the criticisms was there was way too much violence and sexual innuendo for a family movie. Oh man,
Like a
Kangaroo
Disney
Jack. Got
movie.
a Kangaroo Jack reference in. That's kind of out there. So anyway, let's really should wrap. We went like 90 minutes last week. I'm like, oh, that's a little too long.
Hey, April's coming up. Means Masters is right around the
Yep.
corner.
Oh, we got it in.
I have to.
Uh, so we've got what do we got coming up this weekend? We got Martinsville, and that's it.
Yeah, quite weak. Indy's on break again.
Martinsville's fun. I've learned to respect Martinsville over the years.
That'll be fun to watch.
All right, so next week we only have the Wednesday night dash season finale at Texas, and that's it. That's it for the calendar next week. So,
And Texas, I'm gonna be rocking King of the Hill on my car. Finish off
Bobby,
the cartoon
it's
series.
high quality propane, and hopefully that propane tank does not blow up.
That's probably what I'm gonna put on the rear bumper.
All right. So at FR Racing Online, frracingonline.com, and subscribe to our newsletter. We're going to be getting ready to announce our giveaway coming up here soon. I don't have it picked out yet. We got to figure that out. I mean, I don't know how we topped last year's.
We'll find a way, I'm sure.
We like call and beg like Doug Bowles to give like box seats to like the Brickyard 400 or something like that. Doug, I know you don't
They
know
do
us,
it for
but
the road course race. Nobody goes.
yeah, Doug, I know you don't know us, and I hope you don't mind me calling you Doug. Anyway, yeah, so
We'll
get up,
figure it
sign
out.
up for our newsletter, and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks for tuning in. Take care.